Hello everybody and welcome to a rather interesting video. To talk about a YouTuber and their videos is kind of like a double-edged sword. You can attack someone, sure, however that attack could horribly backfire. Personally, what I'm doing in this video is pointing out Ace and his many flaws and rather irrational outbursts and enragement towards a specific problem. That being capping on Hightower. Yes, Ace has made an entire video about a minor pet peeve in Team Fortress 2. However, he's blown it out of proportion, and even worse, he became rash and harsh with his opinions. Personally, I myself don't give a rat's ass over his anger. However, later on in the video, I will explain why I'm pointing this out, and how dangerous this can be. Now, the first minute of his video is him just playing Hightower. Nothing special, except for one thing. He's playing the objective, and every time he's playing, he gets kicked. Why do I question this, you may ask? My biggest question is, why did he get vote kicked? Now, you might believe what he said, he got kicked for playing the objective. However, we can't prove that is the reason why he got kicked. We don't see the chat of Team Fortress 2 or the voting process or the voting menu. What if he was being really annoying with his microphone? Well, why would he do this, you might ask? I'll explain my reasoning and hypothesis later in the video when he sorta gets ballsy and angry. Now, to the new players of the game, you might be wondering, well, what's so bad about that? Capping the objective. There's nothing wrong with capping, game punishing wise at least. However, there is always going to be backlash on Hightower, because Hightower, for whatever reason, has become a haven of harboring the sillier and enjoyable players of Team Fortress 2. Players who like to be friendly, like Hoovies, Spy Crabs, players dancing and getting along with their own teammates, and even other enemies. Why the map developed a haven for this, I do not know. However, it's accomplished that. Now, the majority of people who play Hightower are just for a good time. Some of them just want to be friendly. Maybe they want to try a wacky loadout and just see what gets them results, and that's perfectly fine. Some players are total pacifists, and some players are genuine fun ruiners, and are just in it for the kills to level up strangers, and that's also fair enough. I too will sometimes kill in Hightower. Now, this is to be expected, however, there is one unspecified rule. Do not cap. And why is that? I personally feel it's heavily frowned upon to cap because Hightower is more of an experience, like a social mingle or gathering. It sounds weird, but it kind of is, if you think about it. You're meeting other players, you're having a good time, you're taunting, and you're laughing, and you're having fun, in-game or not. And you kind of just want to do your own thing. When you decide to cap, you're kind of ruining that experience, and you're ending it rather abruptly. What if you were interacting with an enemy pyro regardless of their skill level? Having fun and making a relationship. I mean, sure, the relationship may or may not have gone past a random game of Hightower, but it's still cool to mingle with that pyro. Now, here comes along someone pushing the objective, and they get the cap in. Boom. That mingle is ruined. Even if you hate friendlies and you gun them down because you only see them as numbers to rank up a strange, you also have to hate capping because it does ruin that kill streak you were on. It slows down the slaughterfest you had going. When the game ends and you get a new one, say the enemy team has a direct hit soldier with godlike aim. If that person decides not to cap, you become the bottom of the food chain to them. Your rampage is put on a halt. See, capping on Hightower is a lot like the unwritten but still heavily implied rule of the public's men's restroom. You don't piss in the urinal next to the guy pissing in it if you can leave a urinal space between each other. Just like that, you don't cap on Hightower unless the majority of the servers pushing the cart and both sides aren't kicking other people for trying to cap.
It's honestly one of the best maps, I think, for new players to learn how to play the game, because it's very forgiving up until the end where you need to put all of the skills that you've just learned to the test.
And he talks about Hightower as a good map to train beginners. Alright, I'll give him that. It's a lot friendlier to play Hightower to get your feet wet. Get the Gibbous and Mercenary badge. However, that's all Hightower should be for. Training wheels. After that, you go and either play the other two payload race maps like Nightfall or Pipeline, or you hop into a good old payload map and get some nitty-gritty experience. After skipping some pointless rambling about his past experiences, he then brings up his first line of attack, countering the argument of, well, if you just don't want to cap on Hightower, just go to a 24 Community server then.
First of all, there's the classic argument of, oh, well, if you don't want to cap on Hightower, just go to a 24/7 Community server.
Not only does he spin the question backwards, he also is kind of a hypocrite here. First off, the question is usually, want to go complete the objective? Go to a 24/7 Hightower server. He also lazily holds people who want to be friendly up to a higher standard. He says that you should go play on a community server. Do you kind of see the hypocrisy yet? He complains that people who complain about community Hightower servers and points out how many there are. Now, At about 5 minutes and 15 seconds in, this is where it starts to become heated, angry, and pissy. He starts to lose his cool and starts to show destructive behavior. He starts to complain about people who goof off in matchmaking for 4 hours at a time in Hightower, not capping the objective. Now, this paraphrase statement Ace made, this is where it starts to get into negative repercussions. Calls anyone who plays Hightower a person with no life, no friends, no job, who live in their parents' basement eating nothing but potato chips and drinking beer.
Because apparently everyone who plays Hightower has no social life, no friends, and no job. They just live in their parents' basement eating nothing but potato chips and drinking beer. Most of which aren't even old enough to drink, mind you.
He also claims they're all under the legal drinking age. Now, why is this a bad thing exactly? Well, for one, he's appealing to emotional outrage over being allegedly kicked from Hightower a few times from people who don't agree with him. He's also causing divide. He's calling a group of people who enjoy Team Fortress 2 in their own way as the wrong way, and insulting them. You gotta be pretty damn ballsy, Ace. Calling out a bunch of people who simply enjoy Team Fortress 2 over one way, just a bunch of nasty associations. Yeah, that'll get you more fans for that precious YouTube channel you have there. However, I'm starting to get ahead of myself here a bit. He also uses a bunch of buzzwords and tries to appeal to emotion to silence opposition. If you disagree with him in any way, in his mind, and to the many young and gullible fans of his, you're not standing up for yourself. You're just confirming their bias in their eyes, making it worse for yourself. If you go down to the comment section of his video, you will see a bunch of people appearing to be yes-men, all kind of blindly agreeing with him. Sure, you have people who are either neutral or opposite to Ace's view, but for the most part, you have a bunch of Ace TheOcarinaMaker drones who will defend their idol with every keyboard key they can type. I feel that this is being done by Ace to fulfill two things in that he's feeling: a superiority and intellectual complex. He wants to seem smarter, wittier, and more clever than the average person. However, he kind of can't do that. What that reason is, I don't know. You can't use logic, facts, or at least a well-crafted opinion to either sway somebody or confirm something he believes in. So how does he get around this? He calls his opposition a bunch of degrading names and uses his fans to kind of do the dirty work for him. I don't see how being any of these insults also discredits them from their opinion of a game and how they enjoy it. Now, a weak defense he uses for the people capping on Hightower is to just let them. And when they're done, they'll leave. So the friendlies and people who want to kick them will be satisfied.
Instead of having all the people on the server vote kick someone for just touching the fucking cart, let them cap. That way, the people who are in the match leave when the matchmaking round is over.
However, there's a problem. What if that person who likes to cap stays? Or what if the game ends, and since half the server leaves the game anyway when a game ends and not stick around for a rematch, what if more people join who want to cap come in? Then you have more people ending the game for everybody. It's just something I had on my mind, and that's kind of a double-edged sword kind of situation he has there. It's kind of like what he says and what I say sort of ordeal. Ace says that the people are there because Hightower was ticked as an option for that one person, and since they quote-unquote randomly joined into Hightower, it's just something you have to deal with.
These people are not joining just to ruin your day. They're joining because they were put there randomly, because Hightower was ticked as an option.
However, a person has to willingly click the option of Hightower. In order to possibly get into it, it's not like the map selection is random. Each player picks the map they want to join into, and if they decide to go to Hightower, they should know that Hightower has a disproportionately large amount of friendlies and people who want to kill and not cap objectives. They need to accept that risk if maybe they'll get kicked. When you attend something where a majority of people have a form of standards and rules, it's rude to violate them. And if you do violate those standards or rules, don't be surprised when repercussions come your way. Now, am I thinking too deeply about a video game and a guy on the internet complaining about being kicked from a video game? Probably. But at least I'm trying my best to be reasonable and persuasive, unlike Ace, who wants to just spew insults and shame people. However, I do believe I figured out why he's doing this odd, ballsy video, but I'll explain myself more in a bit. I may seem like a hypocrite because I will use insults also in the video with him more directly, but I feel I am justified to say it because I'm making, hopefully, very fair critiques and well-backed up statements. However, that is up for everyone to decide. He then tries to rehammer the go to a community server then idea.
If you want to complain that there's no good community servers, even though I highly doubt that out of 220 servers I was able to find.
He still says there's good ones, so why don't you go, Ace? Why are you trying to make a large populace conform to you? Now, about 7 minutes and 29 seconds in, we do start to see the true colors start to shine. He starts complaining about his job as a YouTuber, how he had this really great idea for a video and competitive Hightower play. However, due to the people kicking him, those gosh darn neckbeard underage beer drinkers, he had to scrap his idea.
Every single Hightower match I got kicked from for just touching the cart, I'm sorry, but I had to scrap this entire video that was going to be 22 minutes long. I had to scrap the entire video because I was just unable to get footage of Hightower.
Now, here's where things get really bad. He blatantly calls people who vote kick people off a Hightower the trash of TF2. He says that they're the people killing the game.
You are the trash of Team Fortress 2 society. You are dragging this game down into a state that is more toxic than the Five Nights at Freddy's and Undertale communities combined, and I don't say that lightly.
They're the reason why everything sucks. Why do keys cost so much for fine metal? Why is matchmaking still faulty after 8 months? Why is competitive dead? Why do LMAO box and other genuine game-breaking programs get downloaded and used by people who just want to upset people? Every little problem TF2 has is at the fault of some guy who wanted to kick somebody capping on Hightower. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not defending these guys. They can be pretty scummy at times, and I do not condone whatever they do. However, with the bold statements and insults Ace is spewing out, he's making them seem like Joseph Stalin is burning food to starve his people. He's being rather harsh and bold on a whimsy claim, and I know why. But the final breakdown of Ace's behaviors, why is he acting like this? Ace is fighting other YouTubers for viewership. Now, does he know this consciously? No. Most likely subconsciously. But he does know that TF2 is kind of a niche market for YouTube gaming videos. Team Fortress 2 is an almost 10-year-old game. Only a select few people have even semi-mainstream success in making TF2 videos. He knows that some of his videos are good, and others are just fucking duds. So what is he doing now? Stirring up controversy and discussion. He's using swear words, buzzwords, and insults over a minor problem in the game only a few of us can even relate to, but he's blowing it out of the water, like a nuclear warhead exploding underwater. He's trying to make it seem like what he's doing is a noble thing. It's a thing that has to be done. But if you think about what he's saying, it's nothing but blatant greed. You can tell that by his attitude and his anger towards some of his quotes like this. It's how I make a living! It's how I support my channel! It's how I support you, subscribers!
It's how I support my channel, it's how I support you subscribers, and it's how I support the people I care about.
It's how I support you subscribers.
I'd like to point out that last part of his statement. You subscribers. Here's what's so wrong with that. Ace doesn't give a shit about you. Yes, you, the person listening to me now. You can tell because of the tone of his voice. He's greatly concerned that people won't watch his videos. So rather than putting in the extra mile in his videos to stand out from the crowd, he decides to be a damn crybaby, complaining about a problem in a video game, causing controversy and divide between an already hurting community. He's trying to divide the community to gain a few extra views on his videos. And I get it. I understand you want to defend your job, your source of income. You want to protect it. However, if you were an adult Ace, you'd be smart and do the economic thing. Put extra effort, timing, and creativity into your videos. Hell, you said that you dread making TF2 videos.
Dread turning on Team Fortress 2. I dread having to make videos on this.
Why not branch out? Or at the very least, try. To be fair, I wrote this script a couple days ago and I only started editing a few days later, so he has uploaded a couple videos not related to TF2, I'll give him that. See if that works or doesn't. But no, you want to play it safe, making TF2 videos, and if one thing doesn't go your way in a video game, you decide to make videos like this. If you can't keep up with what the viewers want, then get out of the way. Somebody else will do it. And odds are, they'll do it in a much better fashion than you can. Demonizing people who play on a map called Hightower and getting upset over some people kicking players for playing the objective when it's already kind of rude to do so in the first place. Like the unwritten rules I mentioned a little while ago. That's how you beat up the competition. You make your product, in this case a YouTube video, the best one to watch. But no, Ace, go ahead and use your fans, the few TF2 players left, and others as your pawns to squeeze out extra advertisement dollars. You claim you're this great defender of Team Fortress 2, and how you're ending this apparent evil and corruption in the Team Fortress 2 community. But in reality, you're the one causing evil and corruption. You are a massive hypocrite, you are a deceiving bastard, and you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. Painting yourself as some white knight of TF2, only to stab people in the back. Now, Are you intentionally doing this? I don't think so, but still, your behavior is very dangerous. You will always run into assholes in life, Ace. Even in TF2. I know, it's surprising. Not everyone will agree with you. Hell, I've been kicked from matches in Team Fortress 2 for some pretty fucking dumb reasons. And probably from every map, too. However, you don't just stomp your feet on the ground and cause a big stink, Ace. You learn how to deal with these people by just ignoring them or not giving them the satisfaction. The world will not bend to you, Ace. You have to bend for it. After watching you ramble on for a bit more, you mentioned how you may have to find alternative ways to make money. Well, why don't you go and sell your stupid flutes? I can understand that you started this business before YouTube, and your website shows you playing what appears to be a Renaissance fair. If you can name your YouTube channel after that, an OcarinaMaker, why don't you go and sell your fruity flutes? You'd probably be happier doing that, judging by your extreme overreaction about getting kicked on Hightower. You call people who kick players on Hightower people who value nothing to society. However, being a flute boy is pretty low on the contributing to a society aspect. I'd be very careful if I were you. It's never a good idea to throw rocks from a glass house. Anyway, that sums up my thoughts and opinions on a rather bad video. Let me know what you thought, and let me know how you feel on this issue. Maybe this video did get a few rounds, and it got to reach a few people. Maybe it changed your perspective. Let me know your thoughts about what I said, what Ace said, or your view on capping in Hightower is. Hell, leave a comment on anything you want. Take care.